walking by the chickens, so they should trigger any second here because I walked by them. But today I'm going to do a little project that I've been threatening to do for quite a while. There he is. Anyway, so I do a lot of grinding, and I see people build grinder tables and plasma cutter tables. I want to do a little one that will cover both areas. Something I can plasma cut on, something I can plasma cut out on and grind on. So today, and I'm sure I've seen this somewhere. I gotta turn off the motion. Today we're gonna build a little grinder plasma cutter surface. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out here to the boneyard, my version of a boneyard, the whole barn side of our property here. It's kind of the boneyard. We got the old tractor back here, parts rig that we're selling to finance all this shit. So look for stuff on Marketplace. But I'm gonna go out here. Got another old Ford back here in the corner. I have a soft spot for the 70s dent sides. Love them. I would run one of those and build one of those, except for, well, as you can see, I would just dent the shit out of it. They're so big and wide that I would dent the shit out of it. But I've had these barrels for a long time sitting out here, and every once in a while I'll get one and I'll use it as a rain barrel or something like that. But this one, now that I came out here and looked at it and cleaned all the big ass hobo and wolf spiders out of it, is going to become a grinder slash plasma cutting surface. So that's what we're working on today. I'm going to shut this off for a second so that, well, I can use two hands. So I'm just going to rinse it out first, and I just set this up on the hood of Jesse's Comanche or Cherokee. Comanche, yeah, they're the same thing. It's a Jeep. So we're going to rinse it out real quick, then we'll get it back in the barn and mess with our lighting that we don't have very good. So. Dad's doing something. What's he doing? What's he doing? Alright. So, we get that rinsed out, let her drain for just a sec. I'll kind of give you a rundown of what we're going to do here. As you can see, I got the barn, I've picked it up a lot, but there's stuff everywhere, the axle and tube. Everything's everywhere. I don't have a huge space to work in, but I have a space to work in, so I'm pretty jacked about just having that over the years. Went from doing all this stuff in a carport in an apartment when I was a kid to at least having a dry, warm place to work in. So that's what we're doing. You can see that I got the pinion guard getting painted up and getting a coat of paint on it so that it's at least something I can, rust resistant. But so let's drag that in here. Got you all up in the air, all over the place. All right, camera guy. All right. Yeah, I'd be smart to move some stuff, but I ain't gonna do it because it's heavy. It's hot. It's been hot for 3 days, so we went from 55 to 80 in about 72 hours. So that's just how it is. Summer's arrived for a couple days. We're enjoying it. So, pretty easy plan. So I got a bunch of flat bar that I picked up a long time ago, kind of have laying around here, because everything, I just pick shit up. So, we're just going to build. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if that's enough to go all the way around it. Bend it around. So, my theory, and of course it's just a theory, because it's liable to change. So it's liable to change several times. Let's see if I got an angle here. Oh, this is terrible. Yeah, this is terrible. It needs to be on the other side. Oh, look at that. We got to have the light. Okay, so I'm sure it was dark as shit the whole time I've been talking. So, alright. So my plan is probably to trip over this axle a bunch of times because it's in the way. Now, really my plan is we're just going to take and build a ring around this. And I'm going to take some of this 1-inch flat bar and I'm going to go across every, whatever it is, I don't know, inch and a half, and build a grate. We'll flip this over and then we'll be able to pull it on and off. Pretty easy little system for me to contain my grinder material, and when we're plasma cutting now that we got that cutter, it'll kind of contain it as well, because I have grinder dust everywhere all the time. It's constantly everywhere in my hair, what little bit I have, mostly this. Yeah, it's all over the place, so I want to try and contain it. Plus this is a good working height, I think, as far as being able to work on stuff. So so I was doing a little looking around here, around the barn here, and I forgot that my neighbor had given me this, all this scrap here. He bought one of them fancy little 150cc Jeeps here a while ago because he's a Jeep guy, and he gave me the little crate that it came in. This is going to be our top. Lots of angle iron, not real heavy duty. This is going to what we're going to cut this thing up into pieces with our Sawzall. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll put it on the bandsaw, square it all up after cutting with the jigs. What the hell did I use out there? I can't remember what tool. Skill saw or Sawzall. Good Lord, getting old. All right, so we'll square these ends up. We're going to cut them about 24 inches because that barrel's at 23. And that's what we'll do. We'll just cut them 24 square. Thought about doing an octagon. That's just more work. Don't need to do that. So let's get these cut up. We got 4 trimmed up off of that real quick. And onto the bandsaw. Square them up. Clean them up. Get ready to weld. Well, more cutting than weld. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to take and I'm going to notch this piece out right here. Notch this out on 2 of them, both sides, so that when I put this together it's going to be nice and flat, easy. I could miter it, thing, but I'm not going to do it that way. Like I said, this is going to get beat on and stuff like that. Not super critical. If you're one of those over anal retentive people, miter those corners out and seal it right there, make you a nice little picture frame. I'm not doing it that way. I'll get more weld on there by doing that. So I do this a lot too. I don't know about the rest of it. So before I get too carried away, I want to go stick it on this barrel and see how well it fits. So bang. I'm gonna go about like that. Let me shut the radio off because I don't want to get no copyright infringement shit. So we fitted it. It looks like it's going to work pretty good. I like it. We got a couple of things to do. So where I'm at now with it, I'm going to take these and I got to mark it out to where I can start sticking those across here like this. So we'll space those out. I think we're going to have to take a few of these ends, weld them together to make up about 4 more. Not a big deal. We can just keep plugging away. I also thought if I put one in the center like such, and I could go that way, we might have to do that. So we might change this as we're going, but if you keep watching, you're going to see how it turns out. So that's just what you got to do. So I'm going to weld this up, get it all cleaned up so I can start putting those transverse or slats or whatever you want to call them in there. So that's my next step, and it's starting to get pretty damn warm, so I'm kind of running out of steam, but not used to the heat quite yet. So as I've been doing this out here, this is where I'm at. I've noticed I don't quite have enough material to use the 1-inch flat bar across all of it. I'm probably about 8 pieces short. So I'm kind of impatient like that sometimes. So I went back out to that little crate that Jeep thing came into, and I got that screen, and I think, you know, for my purposes, I think this will work just fine. The downside is that shit's galvanized, and I don't like welding galvanized because I don't have all the equipment, I'm pretty sure. So I'll have to choose which ones to weld, grind it all off. It's a lot more work. Maybe, I don't know if it's more work or not, but I think I'm going to go that route, and I'll put that over the top of it, and that'll give me a good grinding surface to grind on. And be careful not to burn my fingers again, because that's hot. But so cut that to fit, clean off the edges where I'm going to tack it in about 4 places around the edge, maybe 3 or 4 on the center. Do a quick tack on it, and I think we're about got it wrapped up, and I think we'll have ourselves a little grinding containment. I've seen people do this where they put fans in there so it draws it out. I don't know if I'll get that carried away, but this is going to be our new plan. So when a problem arises, you have to diversify, right? Well, so now we just got to cut this screen because we're okay. So I had to take a little break for a couple hours and had a couple chores to do, mow the yard, that kind of stuff. But I did get back over here and I wrapped this up. I got to put paint on it, but so I just welded some tabs there. I got this all tacked across here pretty firm like that. Now this one I angled in, so when I go to do it, I take it off like that and it locks it on there. So I got myself a little grinding container table. Alright, so came out this last night, finished up my grinder table that I was working on, and put a coat of paint on it. So there it is, finished up, nice and easy. Couple hours in the afternoon and done deal. That'll definitely help save on our mess. So I'm excited to use that. We'll be using that real soon.